Ladies and gentlemen, it is your boy. We are here with the last video of again that week. Anything on my shirt uncool. um we're here. The last video of the off season. We did coach expectations and damn. We did coach expectations, and I think it's about damn time we did some Pokemon expectations. Now, it's one thing to talk shit about a coach, but when you start this, okay, cool. When you start talking shit on someone's mons, that's how you get them really pissed off, because when you talk shit about me, I can bozo you, or when you talk shit about a coach, they can bozo you when the time is ready. If you talk shit about their mons, man, oh, that hits a lot different. That's a lot more different. So, again, I know some mons that are gonna get drafted. Obviously, I'm not gonna say what or who's drafting it, but I think we can all collectively agree that there's just some mons that will go drafted, like this. I'll pretty much be going off this and things that got drafted last season to talk about. So yeah, I guess we should get on into it. Alright, Pokemon expectations. King Gambit. Obviously, this is the I've kind of announced this since I won finals a couple weeks back. But King Gambit will be my first pick of round 1. Pick 1 of season 4. I'm expecting it to do good, man. I think King Gambit in like OU right now is probably the most oppressive mon, and then that's not even Nat Dex. Nat Dex, it gets things like Knockoff and Pursuit, which instantly makes this thing borderline broken. So I think King Gambit will do really good. Will he be kill leader? Probably not. The way I play the the way I play the game, man. My highest fragger this last season was 32. In season 2, my highest fragger was 38. So if we're just going based off history, I would expect Gambit to be like mid-30s, but I wouldn't expect it to be leading in kills by any means. But I don't know. I've never really had a Pokemon like Gambit that can kind of just late game clean. I guess Zeraora can in a sense, just because it outspeeds everything, but when you just have fucking Supreme Overlord Sucker Punches, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, I think Gambit will definitely be top 3. Back to when undrafted last season is criminal, but your boy's getting it, and I'm very excited. I think Gambit's sick. Again, Nat Dex, Kowtow, even if I don't want to run Knockoff or Pursue 1 week for whatever reason, is still a really good move. It's like Aura Sphere can't miss, so yeah. Really like Gambit. Yeah, I'm expecting good things from it. Single Strike. Yeah, this will probably be rebanned. This thing is evil. It's one of those things where we allowed Terra on it, and that was very much so a mistake. Because You can Terra Dark for stronger wicked blows. You can Terra Fighting for stronger close combats. You can like Terra Steel or Poison to resist Fairy and get Seb Iron Head or Poison jabs. Like you can even like, bro, you can Terra Grass just to if you want to get Stab Trailblaze. Even though I wouldn't recommend that, but like what other Terra types can we do on this guy, bro? Like. Surely we can cook something up real quick besides the two I just named. You can do Terra Flying, like, you know. Terra Rock wouldn't actually be bad at all. Terra Electric wouldn't be bad. Like, Urshifu with Terra, big mistake. This thing is probably going to be a reban, but I'm excited to see it nonetheless. This thing will be Kill Leader. Palafin had 58. I would say Urshifu probably breaks 60. No. I think no. Because Palafin and Chinpal had priority, which makes it so they can get a lot of cleanup kills that you wouldn't otherwise think of. Urshifu doesn't have priority, which makes it a lot harder because Chinpal and Palafin can do both jobs, like wall break and clean. Urshifu's kind of just like a wall breaker. So I'll go with 50. I think Urshifu definitely breaks 50, but I don't think it breaks 60. Just, yeah, the lack of priority. Speaking of priority, Azumarill. This is a mon that, you know, maybe it doesn't get drafted. Who knows? But in my mind, this thing should be drafted. This is a Pokemon that should probably be drafted every season. Azumarill is just insane. I mean, like what do you have to say about Azumarill? Azumarill is very, you know, it does its thing. Good priority and shit. And you can bring it Banded, you can bring it Scarf, you can bring it Belly Drum Citrus, you can bring it Mystic Water, Fairy Plate. Like, Azumarill just does it all. And has 3 great abilities. And Huge Power, Sap Sipper, and what's the other one? Thick Fat, yeah. So, I mean, Azumarill just does it all. This thing is literally like LeBron. I mean, 100 HP with 80 of each defense is insane. That, like, yeah. We don't gotta talk about Ozzy. That thing is a demon. I kind of, yeah. Let me talk about, I guess, recently unbanned mons. Let me go to the forums. Season 4 ban voting. Alright, let's see here. Alright, Deoxyspeed. This is one of those mons where I think it's... Did they put it in... Okay, will be drafted. Me, I think it's likely to go. Like, I could see Deoxyspeed going, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't go just because no nasty plot. But, you know, this is one of those Pokemon where it can do a couple things. Like, you can do, like, Eject Pack Psycho Boost, you can do Spec Psycho Boost, you can do White Herb Psycho Boost, like... You have options. You can do Life Orb, you can do Sash Lead. Like, you don't have the greatest HP stat, but all your other stats are pretty good. And again, because of your speed, the only thing you have to worry about is Regieleki. Yeah, you have Spikes, Rocks, Taunt, Knock. Like, it's just a great utility mon. It's a great sweeper, honestly. Just 95 special attack, a little low, but when you move like Psycho Boost, it makes up for it. Yeah, I could see Deoxyspeed not getting drafted, but if it does, I think this would be a good mon. Definitely not a ban-worthy mon. I definitely don't see this getting unbanned ever, but I think Deoxys Speed is definitely a solid mon, and I just want to see one of the Deoxys forms get taken. You know, like I think defense probably won't go just because in tier 1 that thing is, yeah. Enough said. That thing is not tier 1, but Deoxys Speed without Nasty Plot, you know, it's not the same, but it's still a really, really good mon. It can do a lot of different jobs, and I could see this getting drafted just because it can do a lot. So yeah, Kieran Black. I want to say this will get rebanned as well, but I don't know. Kieran Black, like Urshifu Single Strike, is a lot more oppressive, I feel. But Kieran Black is like, it's really just the fact that it's an ice type that like really like offensively the ice type is great, right? But defensively, like, you know, like the rocks because you want to run heavy duty boots, but then if you want ice stab, you have to run ice beam, which is like, oh wait, there's loaded dice now, so you can run loaded dice icicle spear. But it's like, oh wait, if you're loaded dice, you die to rocks, and you're 95 speed, which means you kind of want to be Scarf. So Kieran Black just has a lot. Like, just the ice typing and the speed is the issue, which reason why we said no Dragon Dance and Terra very obviously. But regardless, I mean, this is probably the bulkiest mon in existence. I mean, this thing is ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, I could see Kieran Black dropping a 50 bomb very easily. Again, it's hard to say that anything will surpass Chin Power Palafin just because they can late game clean or just wall break because of their priority. But if there's two mons to do it, it's definitely Urshifu Single and Kieran Black. So, you know, definitely looking forward to seeing this thing in the league. You know, it's been a long time coming for the Kieran Black, but he's finally unchained. And we got, talking about Unchained, we got my boy Hoopa Unbound. As strong as Hoopa Unbound is, I don't think this thing gets unbanned if it does get drafted. I can honestly see it going undrafted just because people are scared of its lack of bulk and speed. But this thing is the best wall breaker in Pokemon. I mean, mixed attackers in League format are very hard to deal with just because you don't know how they're coming. And Hoopa has 160 attack and 170 special attack, so, you know, I would say it's pretty up there in the mixed department. You know, you know, you're getting one shot one way or the other. And physically, you have Hyperspace Fury, which bypasses Protects. You can't even stall it out. I mean, Hoopa is a crazy ass Pokemon. Hoopa's a weird one because this thing isn't, in my mind, this thing will never have a pretty KD, you know? This thing is always gonna be, this thing will drop 50 kills in a season, but it will probably have like 30 to 35 deaths. Like, it will get a kill or two and then it's dying, but it will get that kill or two very easily and very quickly. You make one right prediction and your opponent makes one wrong prediction and something just dies. Very hard to prep against. Hoopa Unbound is gonna be crazy, but I don't see it getting rebanned, but we'll see. Darkrai probably will be rebanned. This thing is very broken, but yeah. I mean, you just look at its stats and it just doesn't. I mean, its worst stat is HP, which on a mon with 135 special attack and 125 speed you don't really care about. But Darkrai just gets a move for everything. And if you make, again, you make one wrong prediction, something just dies. I mean, I've been using it in our random tournament, and my game against Sal, I just positioned my whole game around Darkrai. I mean, you get everything to like 50%. You make one right. I mean, he brought out his Machamp one time on the one time I Psychic, then I read him. And I literally like 6-0 swept him late game just because he couldn't do anything. I mean, I literally just killed everything. And Darkrai at that speed tier and at that special attack stat, like, you can do it. And we banned Nasty Plot, but a thing that people aren't thinking about is Darkrai gets Calm Mind. Like, you can still Calm Mind. Like, you can still set up with this thing. So, you know, that's, and you can even, like, 90 attack isn't the greatest, but if you see a week where Physical Darkrai can go in, SD with knockoff and shit is honestly not bad. And you get great utility options, right? Like, Darkrai will be rebanned. It's just, there's no way around it. So whoever gets it this season, good luck with it, because that thing is... I could see Darkrai breaking the Chin Pao Palafin, because you don't need priority when you outspeed everything. So, yeah. Mega Kanga. This thing is a weird one for me. Because this thing is crazy. This thing is super, super bulky. The Wish set with like Power Punch, Return, Fake Out is really good. Even just using it as a full utility mon with just like Wish passing with 105 HP, really strong. But Kangaskhan is just good. I don't think it's broken. It's just good. You know, obviously it has the Power Up Punch, which is scary, but, you know, it's just an SD. A lot of Pokemon get SD. 125 base attack, definitely good. Hitting twice, good. But, you know, I had to show the calc so people understood. It's Fake Out, only ever so slightly stronger than a Mega Lopunny's. But Lopunny being faster, and, you know, it's Lopunny diff. Yeah, I mean, whoever drafts will make a Kangaskhan, if it does get drafted, it will definitely be up there in the kill leader department, I'll say. But I don't think this is broken by any means. This is just a gut feeling, but I think the Parental Bond nerf in Gen 7 was really big, and I think this probably makes it more reasonable. So I'm excited to see Mega Kanga. Obviously, Megas are like, even though they're optional this season, adding Megas in general is just nice. And when you can add a Mega that, you know, when you think of Megas, Mega Kangaskhan is like the most famous, most notorious. I mean, this thing literally ran VGC for about like 3 or 4 years. So, Mega Kangaskhan, the GOAT. Excited to see the Parental Bond action going in, man. Marshadow got banned. Naganadel. This thing, I don't know how to feel about it. Because I've never played against it. Because Gen 7, it kind of just got like instant banned to Ubers, but it's a weird one because it's like Blacephalon in the way that like it's not taking a hit, but it's one-shotting you. But Blacephalon hits harder. Granted, Naganadel's a lot faster. Blacephalon's like 108 speed and Naganadel's 121. But I don't know. Naganadel's like, Blacephalon at least has the option to go physical, which not a lot of people think about, but it can be a really good physical attacker. And Naganadel, like, You know what I mean? Like when you have base 73, everything else, like what are you doing? What are you doing, girl? So I think not gonna go would be cool, but by no means do I think it's broken. I mean, again, I've never played against it, so it could be just chatting out of my ass, but we will see. We will see. Anything else? Alright, we'll get to week last. Lele. Yeah, this is no doubt this will be drafted. Lele's just broken. Is it broken enough to be rebanned? I don't think so. I think it's definitely one of those mons where it will be drafted every season, kind of like a Dragapult Iron Valiant thing, like Dragapult Iron Valiant Fluttermane, like Bundle, Lele, like those things should probably be drafted every season if they're allowed. So yeah, Lele is just gonna be another league staple. Just a really good mon. I mean, the only other Psychic Terrain user we've had in Big Juice up until now was obviously Indeedee, and you know, we're here. So yeah, Lele is definitely an interesting one for sure. Kind of the same thing as Kieran Black though, at that 95 speed. You're just fast enough to outspeed the bulky stuff, but you're not fast enough to outspeed the offensive things. So typically with Lele, you'll see the specs or scarf set, but yeah, this thing is just insane. This is probably another mon that's probably gonna be up there in the kill leader department, whoever gets it, but yeah, Lele, absolutely insane. This mon just runs house. And then the last one for the unbans is Walking Wake. I think Wake is as good as you are creative. Because as a lot of us in Big Juice have watched the BBR this season, Envy with Walking Wake, he brought the Dragon Dance set more than he brought like the Specs or Life Orb, like Hydro Steam set. And I think that's really scary. Because at base 83 attack, like, it's not great, but it's not terrible. So, like, if you get a DD off, you know, it's a little scary. And you can just run, like, Hydro Steam as, like, a special attacking move. Obviously, without the sun, it's not going to hit as strong, but, you know, it's a decent mix attacker if you need it to be. The issue is just going to be, are you going to get the sun up? And whoever gets Wake, you know, definitely want to look for the Torkoal. Even if you can't get Torkoal, just, I don't know, just look for like a Prankster Klefki, Torn, maybe get Ninetales in tier 5, just like a Sunbot. But yeah, Wake, when it first came out, we were, obviously everyone was scared of it. It was literally running house and fucking Smogon, but after a couple months of it being released, this thing is, it's a great addition to Pokemon by all means. This thing is great, but definitely not ban worthy. But yeah, that's it for the bans. Obviously, I am not going over every Pokemon on this list. I do not have the time. By the time I got done, the draft, I'd be in finals in season 4. So, you know, it's gonna take too long. But I kind of want to highlight some Pokemon. So I think there's certain Pokemon on here that are getting slept on a lot more than I think they should, and I think it's fucked up. Not fucked up in the sense that you know, I think Josh and Biff and me did a bad job on this, but just in the sense that I think some Pokemon are extremely undervalued. I think some Pokemon are maybe valued a little bit too much. So let me get on into it here. I think Mega Absol and I think Mega Absol or was it Nidoqueen? I think those two and maybe is fair. Because again, they've never been drafted, and most people look at King over Queen. But I think those two are insane. Just absolute demons. I would I'd be very surprised to not see them go again. I think those are the two that really, really stand out to me. Trying to look at everything else. I think 50 Cent. I don't think it will be drafted, but I think it's likely to go. Maybe that was just Biff kind of showing his cards a little bit early. He's talking that thing up a lot, but we'll see if the 50 Cent gets taken. I guess I can. Oh, there was a couple. Okay, there was one mon in particular that I really wanted to talk about. Because again, we all know this mon is gonna get drafted. It's just a matter of who takes it and when they take. I mean, it doesn't really matter when they take it, to be fair, but it's just a matter of who takes it, and that's Hisuian Zoroark. I mean, when we drafted Hisuian Zoroark down to tier 2, I thought people were dying of strokes. I mean, people were going crazy saying this is probably like the dumbest thing we've ever done. Listen. I think Hisuian Zoroark is a crazy good Pokemon. I think it is extremely, extremely good. But if we get down to reality land here, I think this will be... I think Hisuian Zoroark is going to be an early season stomper. I think the first 3 weeks, Hisuian Zoroark is going to be extremely oppressive, and people aren't going to know how to deal with it that well. I think around the mid-season to late season, you're going to see this thing fall off really hard. I think Hisuian Zoroark is good, but once people adjusted to it, get a feel for how to play around it, I don't think it'll have a bad season by any means. But I also don't think that this thing is as crazy as people make it out to be. I think Hisuian Zoroark is a little overrated. People think this Pokemon is like Arceus, just the god of everything, but I think it's good. But even in tier 2, I think it's definitely one of the top mons, but I don't think it's wildly insane that it's in tier 2. So I think Hisuian Zoroark will have a good early season, but the mid to late season, it's gonna be a little questionable. Not that I don't have faith, but I don't think that its later season performance will be as good as its I don't think its mid to late season performance will be as good as its like first 3 weeks. But yeah, that was the one mon I really, really wanted to cover, because I feel like that was the mon that we had the most reaction about when we dropped it. So yeah, I guess if there was one like absolute last thing I could cover, again, I don't want to cover every mon. This video is already like 30 minutes, but I'll cover the franchises. I guess I'll go top left to bottom right. So Tabs with Fluttermane. Tabs had a very weird season with Fluttermane. I mean, he made Fluttermane, I've said it to Tabs in private, and we've all kind of said it to him, to his face, so I don't really care about saying it. Tabs made Fluttermane look useless. I mean, this Pokemon that is banned in like 99% of leagues went 28 and 27. I mean, this Pokemon had a negative KD for like 90% of the season. It really didn't start like getting a lot of kills till like later in the season, but Fluttermane just like the only reason I could see Tabs franchising is just because he knows he didn't perform the greatest with it, and he kind of wants to give it a rerun, and I can respect that. I definitely think it will be hard for him to have a worse season with it than he did last season. So last season, he was very honed in on the whole Rillaboom train, which, to be fair, carried his team, but he sacrificed a lot. He sacrificed like Torkoal, Empoleon, and Piloswine, so he sacrificed a lot. And I think if he kept Torkoal with Fluttermane, that's probably broken. So yeah, I think Tabs giving it another go on the Fluttermane, I think it's smart of him because, again, he is the last pick, and Fluttermane was definitely not getting. I mean, if he didn't franchise, there's 2 Pokemon that got I'll say like 2.5. There's 2.5 Pokemon on here that if they didn't get franchised, I was gonna take over Gambit, and that was Fluttermane and Annihilape. The half one is Tusk. And that's not to say Tusk is bad. It's definitely OP as fuck, and I think everyone and their mom is gonna look at it in Season 5 when it's not franchised by Josh. But my thing with Tusk is, yeah, it's such a niche nitpick, but it's just because the special defense is so bad. But everything else about it is just so broken that it kind of makes up for that fact. But for me, I value Annihilape and Fluttermane very highly. When I saw those 2 get franchised, I was actually pretty disappointed. But I also anticipated them to get franchised, so I didn't really plan for it. I kind of just started building this Gambit team off rip. So we will see, but I think Fluttermane is I think Fluttermane will do good. I think it should. Fluttermane should look directly in the kit. Fluttermane should be top 3 kill leader next season. That's all I'm gonna say. Suicune for Woo. No longer the Daddy Dittos, he's the Saskatchewan Suicunes, but he didn't get a new logo, so we're just gonna keep rocking with the Daddy Dittos. Suicune kind of did what I anticipated Suicune to do this season, where the first 2 to 3 weeks, it kind of 6-0'd like every single team. I think Woo actually got the most 6-0s last season. He literally, he 6-0'd Chris game 1 with T-Tar, and he got like 2 or 3 6-0s with Suicune. I mean, this thing is extremely, extremely oppressive. It does like the same thing every week, but it doesn't matter. It just does it so good that it's very hard to stop. I think Woo franchising this is very smart. He liked it a lot. He used it very well. I mean, his whole branding is about it now. I mean, I think this is probably the best franchise out of them all, in my opinion. I don't know. I think Annihilape is definitely up there as well. But Woo felt really, really comfortable with the Suicune last season. Performed very well with it. I'm looking forward to him with it another season. That's a dog. Got it. He's gonna be cooking, man. He's gonna be cooking. I mean, he's got like 30, 40 teams made at this point, but they all got the Sui on it, so we gotta see what the dogs got cooking. So excited to see what Woo's gonna do. Yeah. Chase. This is by far and large the absolute worst franchise ever. Chase has had Savoli all 3 seasons. He's maybe brought it to a total of 7 games in those 3 seasons. Let me count up. Season 2 we had 18 games. Last season we had 14. Then season 1 we had 6. But he got it like week 2 or 3, so we'll say like he had it for 4 weeks. So in about like 30 games he brought it to like about 7. But, you know, Savoli's a lower tier mon. You don't always bring it to every week. I'm not saying it's one of those mons you have to bring to every week. But Chase doesn't really use this mon that often. I mean, when he does use, I mean, to be fair, when he does use it, he uses it pretty well. But this is a weird one to me. And whenever you franchise a lower tier mon, it always runs the risk because you're sacrificing points in doing so. Like, he gave up 20 points to get Savoli early. Yeah, Chase, you're gonna have to prove me on this one, big dog. I mean, I've kind of told you already, but I don't got faith in this franchise. We will see, though. We will see. Noah with Annihilate. I mean, I kind of talked about it earlier. Fluttermane. If he didn't franchise this, I was gonna take a first pick, but Annihilate, extremely, extremely strong. Kind of like Suicune in a way, where you can't let it set up, but unlike Suicune, you can't really hit it because you're gonna give it Rage Fist boost. So Annihilate is a very, very tricky mon to play around. Extremely, extremely bulky. Honestly, I think people sleep on its actual offensive capabilities. It's like base 90 speed, which great Scarfer. Just even if you just put speed investment into it, it's just a good speed tier. You know, you're always gonna prep for the max Bidef set with HP, but I mean, Noah brought the Scarf set one time last season, did really well. So I mean, Annihilate is a very, very versatile mon, just so hard to deal with. It does something that no other Pokemon can do, and that's just eat hits and then sweep with it. So I got big faith in the Annihilate. I think this mon is going to have a very good season. Again, like Suicune last season, like the first 3 or 4 weeks, it like hard carried, and then like the second half, it still did good, but definitely not the same performance. I would anticipate it to do a little bit better this season. Whether he makes his Terra Captain or not, we shall see, but I think Annihilate definitely a good franchise. Melmetal, this thing is evil. I could see this thing maybe not top 5 in kills, but definitely like 6 or 7. This thing is just good. I mean, double Iron Bash, Punching Glove. You know, you can't Rocky Helmet it. You're just getting bozoed. I mean, yeah. What is there else to say about Melmetal? This thing is very good. Very hard to deal with. I mean, those double Iron Bashes are just near impossible to deal with. And, yeah, I mean, if he doesn't want to run Punching Glove 1 week and he needs to Spadef, Assault Vest Melmetal is like the best thing ever. So yeah, Melmetal. I could see, you know, it's hard when a mon has been drafted, and even if mons have been drafted, like you don't always Terra them. Whether Estador or Sal, whether Sal decides to Terra Melmetal, we shall see. I think it could be a good Terra Captain. It's just depending on like what he's got cooked up, man. But even if he doesn't Terra, I mean, double Iron Bash alone, you know. Honestly, Terra Steel is probably overkill. I'm just gonna say it, probably overkill. But again, you get 2 Terra typings this season. You get a stab typing, you get a random typing. So, you know. Melmetal definitely gonna be doing the thing, man. Definitely gonna be doing the thing. Josh, franchising the Tusk. I mean, this was like his butter, his bread and butter last season. I mean, Tusk, such an OP mon, so good in draft. I mean, this thing is just an insane mon. Yeah, I mean. There's really not much else to say about Tusk. I mean, it is the Landorus got its reign from Gen 5 to 8. It is the reign of Tusk now. And that's not to say Landorus fell off. Landorus is as good, if not arguably better than Tusk. But Tusk is the only Pokemon to, when you get getting called like Landorus, like a Landorus clone, that's got to be like the biggest compliment you can ever get for a Pokemon in your career. I mean, yeah, Landorus and Tusk, just 2 of the greatest Pokemon of all time. They're so good, but they're not broken, and that's the weird thing about them. Like, they are so just consistently amazing, but they're not broken. I don't know how Pokemon did it, man. They hit a home run on that. But next up, we got Garganacci in JC. He Terra'd it. late last season, Terra Fairy, which I think was really good and needed for his team. His whole team was like weak to fighting. I don't think he'll tear it again, just because last season felt more mandatory because he lacked the fighting resist. But regardless, Garg is just so annoying to deal with. You know, you bring in your water or steel type to deal with it, and they take 25% chip. RIP Empoleon, my goat, you're taking 50, but yeah. Garg is like Annihilate, it does something that no other Pokemon can do, and that's just Immaculate Chip. You're getting rocks up, and you're just clicking Salt Cure. And between Salt Cure and rocks, you're doing about 30% to everything on the opponent's team before they can even respond back. And that is just, for a wall that doesn't get toxic, like that's pretty, like if Garg got toxic, this thing, bannable maybe? I don't know. But yeah, Garg, super good Pokemon. I think JC used it really well. JC typically uses his bulk the best. Like Season 2, he had that Chansey and Guzzlord. Last season, he had the Garg. I mean, yeah, I think sticking with the Garg is a great idea for him. It went very well. He seems very comfortable on it. Even when his team was doing bad, Garg was still performing. I mean, you look at his team last season, Garg was his team kill leader the whole season. Chi-Yu didn't, you know, we all know how Chi-Yu's doing. So until JC started popping off in the late season, Garg was hard carrying. So I think Garg is a super smart franchise from JC. I'm really looking forward to it. And then the last franchise and the last one I'll talk about in this video is Mega Glade with Biff. I think Mega Glade is very good. It's a lot of fun tech you can do with it. My favorite part about last season, you know, obviously when I gave him that vacuum wave tech to deal with Chin Pao, that was very funny. But yeah, it just, Glade has a lot of sneaky things it can do, like Shadow Sneak, Vacuum Wave. It can fucking, you know, Will-O-Wisp, bulk up. A lot of people do the SD set, which is fair enough, but the bulk up set with Drain Punch is equally as scary, which I don't think we've ever seen him. I don't think Tanner or Biff has used the bulk up Drain Punch set, so we'll see if it gets used this season. But Mega Glade, such a good mon. I mean, it's very hard to go wrong with. Biff winning Mega of the Year last season, I feel a little bit robbed with that. My boy Mega Blastoise, so RIP to the GOAT, but he's in the Hall of Fame now, so it's fine. Well, I'd rather be in the Hall of Fame by winning the chip than in the Hall of Fame by winning some stupid ass award, you know what I'm saying? But Mega Glade, Mega the season last season, consistently one of the top Megas every season. Biff, as long as he doesn't fall into that trap of having like a Mega Glade Iron Bundle type deal like he did last season, where there's only 1 or 2 mons on his team that are getting kills, as long as he can diversify his offensive options a bit, I think he's in for a very good season. So that's gonna be it. A little bit of a long one, but you know, draft is tomorrow. Motions, people are excited. I'm definitely excited. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of all the Pokemon I wanted. I mean, obviously I could talk about every Pokemon, but we don't got the time for that. Look at this draft slide, by the way. We got King Gambit. We got B, Noah, Chris. Like, come on now. Stop playing with me. I already got this whole draft thing planned out. You know what? Unlike last season, where, you know, I fucked it up a little bit, we just gonna be placing all the Pokemon on the same slide. So, you know, don't worry. We ain't gonna be doing some bozo shit again. But, yeah. I think Tanner's logo's looking kind of crisp, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I am very excited for tomorrow. I mean, God, when did we play finals, bro? Let me see. Replays and results. God, we play on the 21st, bro. How many weeks has it been? Holy shit. 1, 2, 3. It's been 3 weeks of off season. Which really, it didn't feel that long, but to the coaches that didn't make playoffs, that's gotta suck. I mean, what, 21st? So this is final. Oh, we took like a week or two off to get the final seat. Yeah, a lot of coaches haven't played in like 3 months, bro. Holy shit. Yeah, like 2 to 3 months. Yeah, so for a lot of these coaches that didn't make playoffs, I can only imagine that they are very excited to get going because they've had a long, long time to just not do a whole lot. Holy shit. I mean, hey, I guess that's the price you pay for not making playoffs, I guess. But that's gonna be it for me. Your boy is gonna get on out of here. I don't know why I'm so tired. Holy shit, it's fucking 3 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock almost. Jesus Christ. Yeah. It's kind of what I wanted to end with for this off season. Just a little bit of Pokemon expectations, what I think is gonna pop off, what I don't think is gonna pop off. Yeah. I'm excited. Hopefully, not too many snipes. And actually, I kind of want there to be snipes. It makes it more exciting. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm just rambling at this point. I will see y'all a different time. And by a different time, I mean tomorrow at 6:30. Be there.